Hello everybody, I just wanted to send my greetings to you again. My name is Father Brian Horgan. I'm speaking to you from St. Lucie Catholic Church here in Highland Beach, Florida. And I just would like to share with you a story I heard once which I think has a profound effect in all of our lives. The story involved a man who was on a train journey heading from New York down to Florida. And with him was his 24-year-old son. And also in the carriage was an elderly man and an elderly woman. And as the train pulled out of Penn Station in New York and started moving faster and faster down the line, his 24-year-old son was so excited and kept looking out the window and saying, Dad, look at the trees. They're moving with us. They're moving with us. And the father just smiled and was really happy in himself. And later on, as the journey progressed, the son, 24 years of age again, kept crying out, "Look, Dad, the clouds are following us. The clouds are following us." And the old man that was sitting in the same carriage with them said to the father of the 24-year-old, he said, you should take your son to a doctor. There's something wrong with him. He's not behaving rationally. And the father turned to the elderly man and said, I just did. My son was blind from birth, and he just received his sight today. And I was thinking afterwards how quick it is for all of us to start judging people without actually knowing the full story. Mahatma Gandhi, the great philosopher, the great leader of India, said once, "I don't like that person, I must get to know them." And the word judgment comes from the French word meaning to form an opinion. And this elderly person had already formed an opinion about this 24-year-old kid without actually knowing the full story. And many of us can fall into that trap of judging other people, when in fact we should really refrain from judging other people until we've walked a mile in their shoes, as the Chinese proverb goes. I think judging other people is one of the greatest faults of the human condition. Because sometimes not only do we form a judgment, but we also form an opinion which can have devastating effects. I think the moral of that story is very clear. Not to be quick to judge other people. And unfortunately, people do that very, very quickly. They judge us as Catholics in many ways. They judge our beliefs, they judge our values, they judge what we hold dear to us, what we preach, what we believe in, what is held in the magisterium of the church. The moral of the story clearly is not to judge other people. And it is important for a number of reasons. Firstly, I think it's wrong because we do not know what the other person is going through. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, is Jesus himself addressed this whole notion of judging other people when he wrote in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 7, verse 1, he says, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged, because the judgments that you give are the judgments you will get. And the standard you use will be the standard used for you." How easy it is for us to point out a splinter in our brother's eyes, as Jesus said, and fail to recognize the plank in our own. There is nobody perfect. There is nobody on this earth that has the fullness of life and can honestly say that they are without sin. But it's not up to us to judge people. There is only one judge, and that is God. And we need to allow God to be the one to judge us, because he judges us with mercy. Unfortunately, we can be so hard on judging ourselves and so quick to judge our brothers and sisters. My friends, I think we should just leave that up to God, because that's way above our pay grade. God is the one who created us. We read in Genesis, God saw everything he made and he found it very good. So clearly God does not make bad stuff. So if God does not make bad stuff, why should we judge the creation of God? It's so much easier to accept than to judge. It can be challenging, yes. It can be very difficult, yes. Especially if you drive on the roads down here in South Florida. However, we're called to respond to everybody in love. Because if we love our brothers and sisters truly, as Christ called us to love our brothers and sisters, then we will not judge them. Because really, who are we to judge our brothers and sisters? Think of the story of that woman that was caught in adultery. Christ says, let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. We should not judge. We should accept and love. Let the judging up to God and let the loving up to us. I assure you it will make for a very happy and peaceful life, and you will grow in your relationship with Christ. I hope many of you will have the opportunity to come and join us here at St. Lucy Catholic Church in beautiful Highland Beach, Florida. There are no strangers here. There are just friends who haven't met. But I want you to know one thing. You're always welcome, and you will never be judged by any member of this faith community, because we leave that up to God. We help each other. We encourage each other to grow, both spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically. And we leave the judging up to God, because we have no right to judge those who come and worship with us. Because if we were to judge other people in the manner in which we judge ourselves, it just wouldn't be fair. So the lesson is, think of that 24-year-old kid who just received his sight that day from the hospital, but yet that old person, that old man, was so quick to judge him and so quick to judge the Father. And he really put his foot in his mouth. So my friends, let us not be judges, but rather let us be lovers and acceptors of each other. In doing so, we're following the mandate of Christ to love God and to love our brothers and sisters. I hope many of you will come and join us. You're always welcome here at St. Lucy Catholic Church. May God bless you this weekend. May God keep you close to him, and may you always feel and recognize his presence in your life, because without God, we cannot do anything. May God bless you, keep you safe, and fill you with his love, so that you may share that love with our brothers and sisters in Christ. God bless you always.